Okay, greetings. We are in chapter 14 of Gundry's text, and I'd like to just go over a few things with respect to the prison epistles. These four letters of Paul that we're studying this week, Philemon, Colossians, Ephesians, and Philippians. And I'm not going to go very far with this, but I just want to give a few introductory remarks and some things that might help you in your study. First off, these are prison epistles, as you already know, and the reason is because they were written from prison. Now, a little side note to add to your appreciation of these letters. The Philippian letter, particularly, the theme many have described as being joy. The joy of the Lord. Rejoice in the Lord always, and again I say rejoice. And throughout the small letter of Philippians, which is one of my favorite in the New Testament, Paul talks about the joy of the Lord. Now, by way of setting, by all indications from history, Paul was held in something that is today called the Mamertine prison in Rome. It's still standing today. I have never been there, but I have read about it and talked with individuals who have been there. The Mamertine prison was many layers, many stories, and it went down into, in essence, the bottom of Rome, the very bottom level, which is where we understand Paul was kept, ran right over the sewers of Rome. In fact, the bottoms of many of the cells had grates, and the excrement, the sewage of the entire prison funneled down to the sewers that ran below the Mamertine prison. So you can imagine that not only is there the negative aspects of confinement, but in the summer it could be unbearable. The heat added to the stench that arose from the sewers of Rome that flowed beneath the Mamertine prison. And in that context, Paul writes these words, "Brethren, the things that have fallen out for me, these things that have happened to me, have taken place for the glory of God. Rejoice in the Lord always." And again I say rejoice. I count it all joy. And he kept pressing forward as we read in the book of Philippians. It's just an incredible story of faith. I'd like to take the other amount of our time here to look at the book of Ephesians. Now, the book of Ephesians, again, one of the great books of the New Testament. It is what has been called a circular letter, and there are fewer personal appeals in the book of Ephesians than many of the other letters that Paul wrote. But just a few things for you to note. These are just helpful study guides. Watchman Nee, the great Chinese Bible teacher, wrote a small book years ago called Sit, Walk, Stand. It's based on the book of Ephesians, and he takes three words that are an outline of this small but wonderful book. Sit, walk, stand. From the first chapter, verses 1 through 3:21. He says is about sitting. Christ is seated at the right hand of the Father, and we sit with him in heavenly places, seated with Christ. And that is positional truth. The next word is walk, which chapters 4 through 1 through 6, 9, he talks about walking, and walk in love, walk in love toward God, and walk worthy of your calling, walk in understanding, walk as children of light. These are the quotes from the book of Ephesians, and this is experiential. So there is first positional, then secondly experiential. The last word is stand, which we find in the 6th chapter, dealing with spiritual warfare. Sit, walk, stand. And Watchman Nee states this, that we cannot stand unless we are already walking, and we cannot walk unless we are first sitting. You must know who you are in Christ, then you must walk that out in your obedience, and then you will be equipped and able to stand in the spiritual battle. Ephesians, I commend it to you. Let's study the Bible together, the prison epistles. They are wonderful to read. There are riches to be discovered. God bless you as you study.